Hi guys, and welcome to Hopper's Motorsport Vlogs. How are we doing? Right, so tonight I'm going to do a vlog that I've been meaning to do for a couple of days, maybe a week or so into the new look Hopper's Motorsport Vlogs idea for vlogs. So yeah, we're going to be talking about the British Touring Cars 1999 to be precise. Wind the clocks back that far back, coming up to 24 years as of May this year, to my first ever visit of, or my first ever British Touring Car event at Oulton Park. I've been meaning to do this for some time. I'm going to be doing a live video on the Hoppers Motorsport Vlogs Facebook page tomorrow, for the guys and girls that follow the page. But I'll give you guys my vlog. So obviously, I went to Oulton Park the 31st of May 1999 for the first time as a British Touring Car fan, not knowing exactly what it was all about. Obviously, looking at the previous years of BTCC, you know, excuse me, it showed that Super Touring in 1999 was slowly but surely dying of death. The Super Touring era of BTCC kick-started a lot of potential future champions, such as obviously James Thompson, Jason Plato, Ricard Vidal, as well as um, Alan Manu. And, you know, looking at what's gone on in obviously BTCC, never knew anything about it. And obviously, until I went to Oulton Park for the first time, I was kind of, I think at the time I got drawn to it. I spoke to my dad the other day, I texted my dad the other day, and we're basically trying to figure out what got me into British touring cars. I think it's because it was on telly one day, and I think it kind of got drawn into it. And obviously liking the Ford Mondos, the rapid fit Ford Mondos, the blue and of course yellow machine. We have obviously Anthony Reid, who was 1998 season runner-up for Nissan, and then obviously teamed up with, of course, 97 champion Alan Menu in the Ford Mondos. Obviously, Alan Menu was at Renault, but then he jumped ship to, of course, Ford. So Ford had a revised lineup, brand new lineup for 1999. So yeah, I think kind of watching it on telly got me drawn into BTCC. Um, Not too sure exactly what made us go to British Touring Cars. I think from what my dad was saying, it was kind of like, well, he thought it'd be better taking me to a proper race than watching it on telly. Um, I don't know exactly how we managed to get into going to Oulton Park itself, but I think because we watched it on telly, and then we kind of thought, well, my dad thought I might as well take you to a proper race, and I kind of, in a way, kind of wish I knew British touring cars before 1999, but obviously, you know, being potentially 9, maybe 10 years old, obviously at the time, kind of unknown territory. And I remember going, I was thinking, I'm seeing a proper race, proper motorsport. I love my cars anyway, as being a child. And I remember sitting at Lodge Corner, which is the last corner at Oulton Park. Other behold, didn't know until the end of season video that was out that independent runner Russell Spence had gone off in qualifying the day before and launched over the barrier at Lodge Corner. Didn't know exactly what that had happened until I watched the end of season review video at the end of the year when I got it for Christmas that year. And I thought to myself, well, imagine if I was there sooner, it probably wouldn't have been a nice experience seeing a British touring car crash. So obviously we went on race day, May bank holiday weekend, 31st of May. I remember being there, and I remember vaguely certain bits and pieces about it, and I think this is where potentially my pronunciations of drivers in the teams and that will get probably a bit a bit mixed up, so please do bear with me with the pronunciations. As I say, it's not, I'm not sometimes not the best, but I remember going in through the gate at Lodge Corner. Obviously, my dad had to pay. I can't remember how much he had to pay, but I got in for nothing because I was obviously under the certain age criteria where I could get in for free of charge. And obviously, I believe the program at the time was free as well. So obviously, I don't have the program to hand, which is a big shame because otherwise I was showing you that on the screen. But got a program, and I remember reading through it and seeing what was going on. And then I think first there was the Formula Renaults, the 2 litre Formula Renault single seater cars. They were out on track before the British touring cars, because I believe British touring cars had a warm up on Bank Holiday Monday. So I think at first the Formula Renaults were out on track, and then obviously the British touring cars came on. Believe it or not, at the time, like I say, I was 9 or 10 years old. I was sensitive, hearing so sensitive, and I remember hearing a British touring car engine for the first time. Never knew how loud they were. You know, I've only just watched it on telly, but I've never witnessed it in real life. And it was that loud, I burst into tears, saying to my dad, I want to go home. And I got told, well, you know, I've had to pay to come in. You know, yeah, okay, you're charged, but you've got in for nothing. But we're here. We want to enjoy the race. We want to see what it's really like. And I persevered. You know, there's obviously a picture of me somewhere. I don't know where it is, but there's a picture of me covering my ears because obviously how loud, fingers in my ears, because of how loud the engines were. And I had no obviously clue what it was all about with British touring cars. And I remember obviously, you know, eventually covering my ears for the rest of the day because of how loud the engines were. And I kind of, at the time, kind of missed out on like hearing the 5-cylinder Volvo engine officially at full chat because I had my fingers in my ears and covering my ears up, obviously with the V6 Ford Mondeo as well. So, you know, that was kind of a bit of a first experience to hand, listening to the touring cars during the warm-up. I think that's kind of what was to be expected, and obviously we watched the 2 races, the short sprint race as well as the longer feature race. But there's obviously quite a few drivers that in British touring cars that we've never known of for quite some time. I think at the time when I was watching it at the touring cars, we saw the Ford Mondeo, the Rapid Fit Ford Mondeo with Anthony Reid and of course Alan Menu. So we were following Anthony Reid because, you know, it was kind of the driver I looked up to in 1999. And I remember seeing the cars in the pits because obviously you could do pit lane walkabout where you get autographs off the drivers, but we didn't do that first time around because we didn't have a clue how that would run. But we went behind the garages and looked at the cars, and I remember vaguely, this is what I kind of remember because I was talking to my dad about it the other day, as I say, and there was a, you know, Anthony Reid's Ford Mondeo is behind a tape barrier getting worked on, and we were looking at it, and my dad took a photo of me behind that barrier at first. But I think one of the mechanics saw us looking and saw me that I was having a photo, and he asked me, Dad, does he want to go and stand next to the car? And before my dad even said yes or no that I can't go and do it, me being a 9-year-old boy or a 10-year-old boy, somehow went under the barrier before my dad had the chance to say yes, okay, no, he can't, sort of thing. But I think my dad was kind of like, yes, okay, yeah, he'd like that. I went under the barrier and got and stood next to it without my dad giving me permission, which kind of to this day forward wouldn't be doable, you know, probably with how busy it is in the garage anyway when the car's getting prepped ready for racing, etc. And obviously the car had been out for its warm up prior to me going out, you know, well, not going out but going under there, and they were working on it getting ready for the race, and I snuck under the barrier without my dad saying yes, okay. I think I kind of thought my dad kind of said yes, but I didn't hear him. I think I just snuck under. I thought my dad, yeah, he's going to be fine with it, you know. But but yeah, that's one of the memories about it. But yeah, I remember seeing the likes of obviously Ray Mallock racing the Nissan Primaras with David Leslie, and of course 1999 champion, eventual 1999 champion Lorne Aiello. I try not to butcher that as best as I can. So obviously, Ron won the championship in 1999 for Nissan. His only British Touring Car title to date. It was Ray Mallock's first championship, drivers' championship, after winning the manufacturer's last time out in 1998. Um, so yeah, they had Scotsman, obviously David Leslie, the late David Leslie. Sadly, David Leslie passed away in a helicopter. Was it a helicopter accident? Yes, it was a helicopter accident in 2007. I'm trying to get that right. And obviously Frenchman Laurent Aiello driving the works Nissans in the obviously 98 livery, the Vodafone livery, the 98 and 99 livery, still the same from 98. They kept that on because it looked pretty decent. Obviously, like I say, with Team Ford Mondeo, with of course Alan Menu and of course Anthony Reid. Obviously, both drivers new to the Ford Mondeo, replacing the likeable Will Hall and of course Craig Baird for 99. Honda, with their new shape Honda Accord Type R. It was a brand spanking new car. Looked really nice. I remember it quite well. It was white, red, and black, with of course a non-alcoholic beverage sponsor. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but that was there. They had, of course, Yorkshireman James Thompson, who was a Honda stalwart from '97 in BTCC up until end of Super Touring in 2000. He was then partnered again by his '98 teammate Peter Cox, which was the Dutchman. Obviously, Peter Cox won the inaugural night race at Stetson in 1999. So yeah, we had obviously, of course, Renault with, of course, Jason Plato, none other than British Touring Car champion, future BTCC champion, and Jason Plato. Jason had teamed up with obviously Alan Menu in 1998, but Alan went to, of course, Ford for 1999. But Renault drafted in their old test driver Jean-Christophe Bouillon, obviously another Frenchman to the fray, obviously driving for Renault. It was only JCB or Jean-Christophe Bouillon's first full season of BTCC, and he's only one to date. Then we went to obviously Vauxhall with the Vauxhall Vetra, with of course legendary John Clowndes, who was announcing his retirement in 1999, believe it or not. And of course Frenchman Yvan Muller. Yvan Muller, obviously famous for driving the two-wheel drive Audi A4 Quattro in the BTCC in 1998. So that was Vauxhall's lineup. And then last but least at Volvo was 1998 champion, of course, Ricardo Rydell, driving the 5-cylinder Volvo S40 alongside new boy replacing the likeable Gianni Morbidelli at Volvo was of course Vincent Rademacher. Let me get this right. Vincent Rademacher from Belgium. So that was 1999 Works Drivers lineup. We had likeable independents such as, of course, Matt Neal, who lost the Michelin Independent Cup. It was actually known as the Autosport Cup in '98. He lost that to a Norwegian in Tommy Rustad. But obviously Matt Neal was looking for Hungary for success to win the Michelin Independent Cup in 1999. We had, of course, Russell Spence in the ex-Jason Plato, I think it was the ex-Jason Plato Laguna from '98, I think it was, or it was the ex-Alan Menu one. We had Lee Brooks in a older Honda Accord, same with, of course, Paula Cook, the first ever female racer in BTCC. And then, of course, we had Mark Blair, who won the Vauxhall SRI V6 Challenge in '98, driving his own works, well, non-works backed Vauxhall Vetra, the team ADR, I believe that's the team, for Mark Blair in the Vetra. So obviously, you know, that was obviously the class for the races at Oulton Park. Obviously, Russell Spence couldn't race in the races because the car got destroyed in that monster crash in, of course, qualifying for race day, which, you know, seen pictures of it on YouTube, on the internet, seen videos of it on YouTube. Oh, it wasn't nice to see. But, you know, it looked very, the weather was quite overcast some parts of the day, if I remember rightly, and obviously, you know, jumping into what would be a thrilling race for, well, thrilling races for the spectators. I think I remember rightly, IO had won both the sprint and the feature race for Nissan, so he got the double. Obviously, you know, trying to pursue after a bit of a disaster, of course, trying to do the double at Brands Hatch last time out previously, because obviously Frenchman, his own compatriot Yvan Muller, won the sprint race at Brands, and then IO won the feature at Brands Hatch. So IO was looking to try and win quite some substantial amount of money, but obviously that didn't happen. But he did the double, of course, at Oulton Park. It was a 1-2 for Nissan in the sprint race. Yeah, in the sprint race, it was a 1-2 for Nissan, with David Leslie finishing in second place in the second Ray Mollock Nissan Primeras, which obviously, you know, that was the car of the field in 1999. It was vastly more improved than obviously 98, because they won the Manufacturer Championship in 98, but they went one better and won the Drivers' Championship, stole the crown from, of course, Sweden's Rickard Rydell. But, you know, the racing was quite nice. I think Jason Plato, unfortunately, his Renault Laguna had the new 99 engine in, which blew up in race one, the sprint race, and then it blew up again in the feature race. So Jason Plato had a torrid time in the Laguna at Oulton Park. Second race of the day, the feature race, the long feature race where they took a pit stop, where they have to tear off the obviously luminous yellow Dayglow yellow strip that was on the side of the car. So not only could the teams know the drivers, that driver's done a pit stop, so if they were in contention to try and get a race win or get onto the podium, it was also for the teams, so they knew that car on their drivers had obviously done the pit stop, etc., as well as the fans, as well as BBC grandstand viewers for that. I remember, if I remember rightly, there was only about 8, maybe 9 cars finishing race number 2, excuse me, at Oulton Park. There was a massive crash between John Cleland and James Thompson, and of course Alan Menu. Their cars literally, I think John Cleland went spinning off to the barrier at Old Hall, and then somehow I think somehow Alan Menu cut back across and then collected James Thompson, which then brought out the safety car, which then also, because Thompson put the brakes on still at Old Hall because of obviously Alan Menu coming across, which then obviously damaged James Thompson's car. Other old Peter Cox, Thompson's teammate, poured into the back of him, which then bashed in that front end of the Honda Accord. It looked like, we saw it when it come round, it had loads of tape on. Obviously you see it on the season review that, you know, there's quite a lot of tape involved in the repair job of the Honda, but I don't think he did very well. I think he still finished, but it looked very battle scarred, should I say. And I remember Mark Blair with his pit stop, you know, somehow managed to get the boom of the pit stop, the airline or something got caught within his pit stop, and it somehow ripped the rear spoiler off, which he got a penalty for. He got a driver penalty for, because obviously it was a bit unsafe. But I think he still managed to finish second in class or first in class, because I think Matt Neal actually retired. So yeah, it was a bit of a weird race. That was. It was not not viable, with how many cars had finished. David Leslie had quite a few issues in his pit stop. The airline wouldn't go in the car; it wouldn't turn on, so he couldn't. It delayed his pit stop, so that cost him a podium. And yeah, I think it was hearing all the drama unfold, and it was like, wow, this is exactly what BTCC is all about. Obviously full of drama with the pit stop race because that spiced it up a bit. But obviously, with quite obviously some cars having accidents and potential body damage and panels potentially ripped off in Mark Blair's rear spoiler. So overall, I quite enjoyed the my first ever British Touring Car meeting, despite not liking the noise, and it grew me to be a bigger fan. Obviously, year 2000 was going to be the last year of Super Touring. We didn't know that at all until obviously 2000 BTCC started. We weren't aware that Super Touring was getting more expensive to keep the cars running, with all the parts, and it's all bespoke parts. So, you know, it was quite interesting to find that out. And I think, like I say, when I got upset saying I didn't like the noise, maybe, at the time, like I say, I didn't know what British Touring Cars was or what it really was all about. I think at the end of the day, I looked at it and I attended my first ever race, and I've been hooked on it ever since. And maybe, if you are, sensitive to hearing or loud noises like I was, it kind of showed exactly that. Yeah, fingers, hands on my ears, fingers in my ears, you know, and I really enjoyed it. And it's made me become a super fan of the British touring cars, regardless. And it kind of kick-started my love affair for British touring cars. It's a great sport. The championships evolved since super touring, and I remember saying to myself, you know, after going all these years that I've gone, I've seen it all. I've seen super touring. I've seen the British touring car regulations in 2001. I've seen the S2000 regulations when they brought that in from the World Touring Cars in 2004. I've seen the next generation touring car. I've seen now well, I've not seen the hybrid era, but I'm obviously seen the hybrid era on telly. A lot's involved of the BTCC since I've been going, and I think it's been fantastic. When I look back at Oulton Park 1999, you wouldn't dream of seeing the Super Tourers, how close that racing was back in 1999. The whole season itself, it was a they had the inaugural night race at Snetterton, which that brings me on to another vlog very soon. What has happened to night racing? Was it too much to maintain, or was there a lot of reasons why we don't see night racing in British touring cars anymore? Would we see it back? And yeah, I think when I went to Oulton Park in 1999, the pinnacle of super touring, with it slowly now dying of death and potentially not going to be run after 2000, it shows exactly how close that championship was. Looking at the likes of course, Matt Neal got his maiden first ever outright win at Donington Park that year in the first meeting of the championship. You saw the likes of Peter Cox get his maiden win at BTCC, his only win to date at the inaugural night race at Snetterton. You saw obviously quite a lot of controversy between all the teams, because obviously Volvo and Renault pulled out at the end of 99 because obviously with the costing, they weren't aware of how much it would be costing them in 2000 to run the Volvo and the Laguna. So it it spiced everything up. And I think the way obviously 2000 with two independents with such as Matt Neal and of course Colin Blair in the two Nissans, it really showed that Super Touring was exactly dying a death. But yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed this Super Touring vlog about 1999 of Oulton Park. I've enjoyed making this because it's been something I really wanted to do. Obviously, please do like and subscribe to Hoppers Motorsport Vlogs for more vlogs coming very soon. We are going to be looking at basically going into the unknown this year for Hoppers Motorsport Vlogs, as I say. You know, trying to rekindle memories of motorsport, trying to get into the time machine and go back in time and potentially give you guys some views and opinions of motorsport that I've done over the last couple of years. I hope you've really enjoyed this one. I really enjoy doing vlogs. You know, I'm looking forward to what the future holds for us. We do have some exciting live videos coming onto the Hoppers Motorsport Vlogs Facebook page. As of tomorrow, we will be going, as I said, talking about my first ever visit to Oulton Park for the British Touring Cars. That is why this vlog is coming out today. Also, over the next couple of weeks, there is going to be um, some interesting stuff going on to the Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, onto our socials. Gonna get that out there. So yeah, I hope you've really enjoyed this. If you have, please do give it a smash that thumbs up. If you haven't, do give it a thumbs down. I'm not going to be offended. And yeah, let us know in the comments if you've got any memories from the Super Touring era, whether it's from the last era of 2000 or whether it is from, of course, 98, 99, 97, any year of BTCC. If you were at that event in 1999, the one I went to of Oulton Park rounds 9 and 10, do let me know what your memories were of the Super Touring era or that event if you were there. I'm looking forward to seeing what the next vlog I'm going to be doing. Looking forward to that. I can't give away what exactly is going to happen with a vlog I'm going to be doing very soon, but you know, I'm looking forward to producing more content. So until then, guys, thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Click that notification bell because you do not want to miss any of our vlogs that are coming out very soon. So I hope you've really enjoyed. Take care.